Rusame reader, Crow Song, and today I will be reading to you from Take 2 by Miriorite. Now, on to Chapter 30, One Truth. America woke up to the sound of knocking on his apartment door. He stayed up quite late last night watching movies. He opened his bleary eyes and dragged his feet to the front door. Hello, is there anything you need? He rubbed his eyes with a yawn. America, come with me right now. America started to focus a little. His eyes adjusted to the bright morning sunlight. There stood in his doorway was a tall, familiar man. Russia, what are you doing here this early? America snapped out of his daze. It's 11 a.m. already. Oh, my bad. If you want me to go with you, at least let me change first. As for so, America freshened up a little and changed into a presentable outfit. Albeit he looked a little drowsy, he seemed as good-looking as he usually does. They both drove to a studio at a high speed. Russia dragged him inside by the hand. Seeing the large studio, America was a bit alarmed. Where are we going? This is a studio, right? He clenched the Russian's hand tighter. Yes, this is one of the most famous chat shows that usually covers drama topics in the entertainment industry. He finally answered once they entered through the backstage. There was a silence between the two of them. Why am I here then? Russia stopped walking. The workers buzzed around them busily as they prepared the set. They were frantic, as if this was the biggest scoop of the century. They didn't even notice the two of them had already entered because they had too much on their plate. You're here because you're going to clear your name once and for all today. America was taken aback for a second. I don't have any proof. I do. The American stared at him intensely. Russia stared back, then asked, Do you trust me? His eyes rippled with determination and gentleness. America could see his own reflection in his eyes. He nodded without a second thought. This brought a smile on the Russian's face. The lights on the main set lit up, signaling the start of the show. The audience clapped and cheered as the host walked in. All those noises were just a blur to the two of them. The only thing they had in their sights was each other. Now, let's invite our first guest to today's show, the former #1 star, America. He extended an arm towards the door separating the backstage from the main set. Russia gave him a light hug before patting his shoulder. Good luck. I'll be right here. He replied with a small nod, then walked to the main set. But as he passed Russia, the shorter male whispered in his ear, mischievously, You owe me dinner for this. The setup was quite simple, a coffee table with 3 sofas around it. The audience would have a clear view of the people who were going to sit in those 3 chairs. One of the chairs was already occupied by the host. America paid no mind to the audience. The host invited him to sit down on one of the sofas. Hello, America. It's a pleasure to meet you. A friend of yours has scheduled this episode. This episode will be live broadcasted everywhere on the internet. Are you okay with this? America flashed a smile. Yes, it's fine. The host continued. Then I would like to invite our second guest to the stage. A lady with emerald green eyes walked up to them and sat in the last remaining sofa. The air between them was heavy and uncomfortable. Both gazed at each other with not much emotion. She crossed her legs and flashed a smile as well. "Thank you for having me here today." A Chinese man sat in his living room watching the broadcast at this very moment. He ran a hand through his hair and grinned. "It seems Russia has been quite busy lately." China got a call from Japan. "Hello?" He answered unhurriedly as he sipped his Chinese tea. "Imamite emasu ka?" That is Japanese for, "Are you watching it right now?" 我在看.
让我们看看这是怎么回事.
That is Chinese for, "I am watching it. Let's see how this goes." Dear audience, we have a huge scoop today. Some footage has been submitted as a counterproof to counter accusations made about America in the scandal a few years ago. There were many murmurs of excitement from the crowd. "What do you think about this?" The host directed the question at the green-eyed lady. She merely sighed. "We'll see what kind of proof we've been provided." The host started the footage on the big screen. It was a clear shot of their argument at the cafe on that day. The audience couldn't hear what they were arguing about, but by the looks of it, everyone already knew. The green-eyed lady walked away and turned a corner, disappearing out of America's line of sight. There was someone waiting for her. The person got out of the car. It was America's manager. America's eyebrows furrowed a little at this discovery. His manager seemed to be working together with the green-eyed lady to frame him. This was clear already to everyone in the audience, and everyone watching the live broadcast. A detail America noticed was that it seemed that the green-eyed lady was nervous in the footage. At this very moment, thousands upon thousands of posts were uploaded on the internet about it. Everyone was shocked. Everyone was guilty. They had condemned an innocent actor of something he didn't do. They drove him away for 2 years and said many hurtful words. Then the clip ended. This footage was provided by a family's car footage due to them parking their car in the area at the time. This area is known for being very low-key and not having any CCTV cameras. A friend of America's managed to find that family and asked for the footage. His friend then submitted it to us and requested an episode on this. The host explained. A huge wave of emotions crashed in America's heart. Relief, joy, pain, sadness, all of that. He didn't know how to feel. After so many years of hate, he finally proved himself innocent. America, what do you have to say about this footage? Was it accurate to what happened on that day? According to my memories, yes. America seemed nonchalant on the outside. People noticed this. They were surprised he was still calm in a situation like this. The host then added, "As according to the footage, we've brought his manager here as well, since she seems to be behind this as well." America's manager walked into this main set as well. She stood next to the sofa where the green-eyed lady sat. "It seems it is over for us," his manager sighed. America was fairly furious, but kept a calm pretense in front of the cameras. "Why did you do it?" She replied without a second thought. "Do you know how hard it is to manage a troublemaking actor like you? You're never obedient. The amount of times I had to deal with shit you start up is immeasurable. I'm sick and tired of you." "Why didn't you just quit?" America narrowed his eyes. Did you really think I could just quit? Let me tell you, the entertainment industry is quite a scary space. My contract with you was far from over. They would never let me quit anyway. So making you quit was the only option. You may think it's hard for you as an actor, but us workers behind the scenes have it harder. They treat us even more unfairly than they do you. She furrowed her brows and grit her teeth. You think I have it easier? I think everyone in the industry has to deal with the same shit. I don't think we should be comparing which position is more fair because none of them are. America retorted. His tone was still as calm and nonchalant as ever. His manager found no rebuke to his statement, so she stayed silent. America's gaze landed on the green-eyed lady. Then what about you? The green-eyed lady lifted her eyelashes. There is nothing to it. I just thought of you as a hindrance to my spot as number one. She was cut off by America's manager. Don't worry, I won't. The green-eyed lady blinked a few times in disbelief, then said truthfully, I was being blackmailed. I'm sorry. I really wanted to stay on good terms with you. She lowered her head and said nothing else in her defense, merely an apology. She didn't know what else to say, nor did she want to make any excuses. America could read her gestures and expression. She was telling the truth. He thought in his head, this is quite the drama, isn't it? With an internal sigh. America's manager walked up to him and said something in a hushed tone to him. This is my loss. Take care of yourself, and good luck with him. At the end of the show, the entire internet was a mess. Everyone made posts while blaming each other left and right. Some fans were genuinely happy they could support him again because they really liked what he did. Backstage was empty already. Russia was the only one there. As soon as America saw him, he ran back up to him and tackled him into a hug. Thank you so much. The rims of his eyes were a bit wet. This was also the case with Russia. He seemed like he was going to burst into tears, right there, right now. Both of them held it in and just smiled in each other's embrace. Russia then replied, Anything for you. And that's the end of this chapter. I hope you enjoyed. I'm really glad that this chapter went the way it did. Anyway, I would like to invite you to join the Discord, which is linked down in the description below. That being said, I hope you have a nice rest of your day, night, or whatever it is for you. Just enjoy your time, and I will see you tomorrow.